ready for true happiness, for deep fulfillment, for feeling alive, on purpose, and in control of your life again? It's time to be the bold, brilliant, beautiful woman you were born to be. Welcome to the Purpose Girl podcast. I'm women's happiness and life purpose expert Karen Rockkind, and I'm going to teach you how to live on purpose, feel alive, and be happy in every aspect of life. I'm going to get real about my life and interview women who are living on purpose so that you can finally live yours. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Purpose Girls. Happy 50th anniversary. Today is like our 50th birthday party because today is the 50th episode of the Purpose Girl podcast. Oh my goddess, I am so honored. I am so grateful. Thank you for listening to the Purpose Girl podcast. Thank you for giving a darn about your own happiness, about your own self-love, about your own purpose. Thank you for caring about the purpose and happiness of every woman and every being alive. Today is going to be like a 50th birthday party. It's like a 50th podcast anniversary, episode anniversary. And today, in honor of you, because I'm so grateful to you, I'm going to be giving you 50 easy, simple, practical tips that you can do immediately to boost your happiness. And to make it even better, if you go over to purposegirl.com, you can get the download of this. So you can download it, you can print it, you can have it in your purse, in your journal, on your computer, at your family dinner, anytime you need a quick tip. So that's totally free for you. Go over to purposegirl.com, click on the button, and you can get these 50 tips for free. I do want to take a moment before I dive into the 50 and truly let you know how much I appreciate you. When Josh first came to me and suggested that I start a podcast, I had never listened to a podcast. So I didn't know the first thing about what I was doing. And so I said no at first. Maybe you can relate with that. Maybe if there's something out there that you don't know how to do, you just say, no, right? Even if inside you feel like that's something that you really want to do or something that you would be good at or something that would be good for you. But he kept insisting, and thank goodness he did, because I have fallen in love with this. In truth, I had just been scared because I didn't know how, scared because I knew nothing about podcasting. I had been on a national radio show for 5 years, but I was always with the show host, right? I hadn't done a lot of solo episodes. I had done a smaller solo episode in an internet medium, but I hadn't really done a full episode on my own, and I was afraid. And because of you all, you've made this so comfortable for me. You've made this so easy for me to share the science of human flourishing, to share it in a way that I love. And I am so grateful. Today, I want to read a review called Wonderful Person. This is a review from EAFNW here in the United States. And I've been reading a review every other week because I'm so grateful to you. And if you have not yet left a review, just pause this episode for 2 minutes and go over to Apple Podcasts or whatever your particular podcast reader is or listener is, and just leave that review, because all of the reviews are how more women find us and how we are building community around the world. So EAFNW says, I've had the fortunate opportunity to spend time with Karen. She's a wonderful, caring person that exudes positive energy. I always feel happy and at ease when I'm around her. Oh, thank you so much. I wish I knew your real name so I could say thank you. Also, I have to tell you, I am beyond honored that the Purpose Girl podcast hit number 3 in self-help in Hong Kong and number 5 in health in Hong Kong this week. I am so grateful. Again, that is because all of you are out there and you are rating us 5 stars. You are giving us reviews to let every woman alive all over the planet, all over the globe know that the Purpose Girl podcast and the Purpose Girls, Women's Happiness Network Facebook page, that our community is the community that is changing the world one woman at a time. So, without any further ado, let's get into our 50 happiness tips for our 50th podcast anniversary. So number 1, if you do not have a journal yet that you love, you must get a journal you love, okay? And the reason it must be one that you love is that I once had a client who came to me, and a few weeks in, she said, I don't need to go buy a journal. My mom just gave me a notebook. Well, a few weeks in, she tells me she wasn't journaling. And I looked at her and she had this kind of like scraggly old lined notebook. And so I immediately said, from now on, all of my coaching clients have to have a journal that they love. And it has to be one you love because you need to be able, you want to like look at it and see that it's like really beautiful, that you want to use it, that it has a message on the front that speaks to you, or a color or a symbol. So make sure that you have a journal that you love, and hopefully you're taking notes during the Purpose Girl podcast. And if not, then that, this is basically free support for you. So please make sure you're doing that. So number one, make sure you have a journal you love and write a letter to yourself that begins, dear name, dear Jessica, dear Karen, dear Hope, whatever your name is. I love you and promise to live fully. So begin your journal with a love letter like that. Number two, call a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. If you're like me, maybe you're terrible at picking up the phone. I know I am. I talk to clients all day. I talk to all of you all day. And so at night, I don't usually want to get on the phone, but then I miss my friends so much. And the research is so clear about this, that friendships and relationships make us physically healthier and make us live longer. And so especially as women, the research shows, there was a research study done with cancer patients, that the women cancer patients who had close friendships and girlfriends, they actually lived longer. So it's super important. Call a friend if you haven't in a long time. I've been trying, when I am in the car, I've been trying to make that a habit. So let's do it together. Number three, write a gratitude letter to someone who's made a difference in your life if you haven't told them in a long time. So gratitude, right? Most of us say thank you. Someone compliments you on your dress, you say thank you. Someone, pays for your Starbucks when you're meeting them for coffee, you say thank you. Gratitude is thank you kind of a little bit on steroids. Gratitude is when we really pause to appreciate someone or something. And there's been a lot of research on gratitude. The research shows that gratitude is good for both the receiver, so whoever you're saying thank you to, and it's good for the giver. So it's good for you too. It's good for your heart. It's good for your mind. It's good for your soul. It increases positivity overall. So it might not seem like brain science, like that crazy for me to tell you that gratitude is good for you, but how often do you pause and really say thank you? I mean, truly thank you for someone that's made a difference. And this concept of a gratitude letter is when you write a full-on letter to someone telling them not just thank you, like you might send after a wedding or a baby shower, like thanks for the cute shirt, I loved it or whatever, but really thank you for the ways that you've taught me. Thank you for all you've given me. And what the research shows is when you write that kind of a letter and then you hand deliver it to somebody, even better yet, if you can read it to them, then you are elevating the positivity and you're elevating the juiciness in the prefrontal cortex, the good part of your brain. You're elevating that for both people. I did this when I graduated from graduate school, right? I had left my corporate job. I had left my safe vice president, six-figure job in order to do this crazy thing of going back to grad school and following this dream of supporting all of you out there. And I have shared before on the Purpose Girl podcast that my dad told me that was the stupidest decision he had ever heard. I knew, though, that was out of love, right? It scared me, made me upset, but that was out of love. And in truth, my dad left his cushy job right out of architecture school. He had one of the best jobs in all of the state of Michigan, where I grew up. And he was only there like 6 months, maybe a year, and he left to pursue and start his own firm. So in truth, I learned about following my purpose from my dad. So when my parents came for my graduation from grad school, I had written out a full letter of how watching the two of them pursue their passions, pursue their purpose, witnessing how they gave back to community, how they gave back to their students, they both taught, witnessing how they did this really made an impact on me wanting to pursue my purpose. So at dinner, there's graduation, we're in Philadelphia. At dinner, I take out this letter and I start reading it to them. And my dad starts crying. And I mean, his lips were quivering. It was beautiful. And I reached out my hand and held it and shared with them word for word how I felt in my heart. And it made such a difference in the moment, in the weekend, in our relationship. So take the time, write a full-on letter. And if you can, I know it's vulnerable, I know it's scary, go deliver it to somebody. Number 4, take a slow walk in nature. Right now for me, it's snowing outside. And I was at my acupuncturist this week and she's like, oh, the weather this week. And I said, no, I'm excited. Like, it's going to be beautiful. We haven't had a lot of snow. And that's not to be all Pollyanna about it. Genuinely, it's beautiful. And we know that nature is like a vitamin for you. Our early ancestors from thousands of years ago, they were wandering people. They were out in nature. Certainly they were in warmer climates, but it is in our DNA to actually need to be in nature. That's why if you ever are in a park or you're in a vast field, you will notice your body calm down. It's instantly de-stressing. So go for a walk in nature. Number 5, spend 5 minutes with someone that you love and look into their eyes, really taking in their smile, capturing that moment, capturing who they are in your mind forever. Now, this is a really vulnerable activity and you might like freak out. I can't look in someone's eyes for 5 minutes. You can, and it's actually proven to bring two people closer together. There was a study done where there were 36 questions to ask each other and then look in each other's eyes. It was actually for 4 minutes. And whether or not that gave people the feelings of love in their brain and in their body, and it did. So practice that if you can. Number 6, make a to-do list of everything that you hate, like maybe for you, it's laundry. Maybe for you, it's dishes. I hate unloading the dishes, like love putting them in, hate unloading, and turn it into fun by playing your favorite song and dancing to it. So I have been taking erotic dance lately, and my dance teacher is the best at making Spotify playlists. And they're sexy and they're sensual and they're incredible. And so I've been playing them while doing the tasks that I don't like to do, and it's been making them so much more fun. Number 7, watch an inspiring TED Talk. There are so many that are so incredible. For example, one that I love is called Before I Die, I Want to ... by Candy Chang. And there are so many out there that are so inspiring, are so motivating, will make you feel so good that go out there, find a TED or TEDx talk. And by the way, I am ready to give my TEDx talk. So side note, if you know someone who is involved in the TED or TEDx community in your particular community, please have them reach out. I am ready to share how you can transform every single moment of your life into purpose. So side note, okay, back to our list of 50. Number 8, go to a playground, get on a swing and play. Okay, we all have the little children, the little girls, the little boys inside of us. We are still those same people. And that part of us, that younger child inside of us needs to play. There's a strengths survey that I'm going to get to in a moment that there's a children's version and an adult version. And what it has found is that children who take this zest, playfulness, is in a top strength for children, but in one of the lowest strengths for adults. So what happens there? Well, we get mired with responsibilities. We start realizing we've got to pay the bills. We have so much to do. We've got to make sure that the dog gets to the vet. We've got to make sure that there's food in the house. There's so much, and we give up on play. But play is so good for us. In fact, I truly believe that a woman's happiness is based on how much play and pleasure she allows herself. That wasn't something I used to think, but as I've been working with one of my mentors, Regina Thomasschauer, and getting into my own play and pleasure, it's so fun to play. So whatever play is for you, my recommendation is go to a playground, like let your inner 5-year-old get out there. She's in there. She wants to go play. Number 9, take a moment and look in the mirror into the beautiful eyes of the woman or man in front of you and say, I love you. That simple. I love you. Now, if you look in the mirror and you start focusing on your wrinkles or your gray hair or a pimple, you will probably start saying, yuck, I hate you, or I feel disgusting, or whatever it might be that typically goes through your mind. But it's so different if you look into the eyes of the person in the mirror, because those are the same eyes that you had when you were a baby. The same sweet eyes that you had when you were younger. They may have changed color a bit. They may have expanded a bit, but those are the same eyes with the same soul. So look in the mirror into the beautiful eyes of the person in front of you and say gently, sweetly, I love you. Number 10, I want you to grab a piece of paper. If you're driving right now, don't do that, but in that journal, okay? So on a piece of paper at any time, right? This is your happiness tip for whenever your brain says, I can't. right? Someone says, hey, you should write a book. You go, I can't write a book. Or someone says, hey, I would love to have you over for dinner. And you think, well, I can't because I'm too busy. Or someone invites you on a vacation. You think, well, I can't because I can't get in a bathing suit. So anytime there's something that you really inside feel like, oh, this is something I should pursue, but your brain is telling you you can't, it's making up stories, then this is for you. Grab a piece of paper and on the left, write a list of 3 things that your brain says, I can't. I can't go to the beach because I'm not in bathing suit shape. I can't go to that party because I might see, someone from my past. I can't write a book because I don't know how to. Whatever those things are for you. All the fear things, right? Not the genuine, like, I can't and I don't want to, but the things that maybe you would want to but are too afraid. Then on the right side, shift it. And the question is, how can I? So now you write, how can I go to the beach even with my body the way it is? How can I get my body into a shape that I would feel good? Or how can I find a bathing suit that would really flatter me and make me feel beautiful? How can I go and feel confident exactly as I am? Or about the book as an example, or a blog. Or last night I was talking to somebody who wanted to start a podcast and she was like, well, I really want to have this great idea, but I don't know how. And I said, well, how can you? And we started going into it and she ended up sharing, well, if I just knew someone who knew how to do a podcast. And I'm like, hello. She said, I didn't even know you had a podcast. So how can you? So you write the question, how can I? And then answer it. So simple. From the left side, I can't, to the right side, how can I? 11, do something kind for a total stranger. A couple of years ago on my birthday, I decided that I was going to do 43 random acts of kindness. And I got the idea from my dear friend Amelia. And so Josh and I ran around Philadelphia doing these acts of kindness. And it was so much fun. It was everything from, he went up and down our streets in our little town and he put money in the meters and he was trying to be all stealth so that the person didn't see him put the quarter in the meter, to me holding a sign in the middle of Philadelphia with free hugs, to making really nutritious lunches and leaving them by a homeless person who was sleeping on the street so that they could have food and dignity. So do something kind for a total stranger. It doesn't have to cost you money. It could even just be giving a compliment. Number 12, move your body. Coming up soon on the Purpose Girl podcast, you are going to hear from Bernadette Pleasant, who has taught me how to move my emotions through my body, how important it is to dance out and speak out all of my emotions, from anger to grief to joy to flirt to everything. And it has made a difference. Research is so clear that movement, I'm not talking about workout. Working out is amazing, but I'm talking about it could be any movement, whether that is kickboxing or dancing or yoga or running or walking. Movement for 20 minutes is so good for your heart. It's so good for your brain. Our ancestors, like I mentioned, they were wandering people. This is a long time ago, thousands of years ago. And they moved. They would walk to hunt and gather. They would walk something like 10 miles a day. So our body, our brains are actually designed to respond and to work best when in movement. If you need more information on that, find John Medina online. He's written and does videos called Brain Basics. He's amazing. So you want to move your body. Number 13, once you move your body, take a long, hot bubble bath or a shower, if you're not a bath person, with spa music playing. Set it up to be just like a spa where you have candles, you have rose petals, you have delicious essential oil scents. Take that bath or shower and give yourself that treat. Number 14, maybe once you take your bath, then cook a delicious meal from scratch. Some of you hate cooking, so this won't be for you. But if you really love food, it doesn't have to be complicated. The idea here of cooking a delicious meal from scratch, a healthy, delicious meal, is to savor the colors of the food, savor the scents in the kitchen, the sounds. You could do it with someone you love, a friend, a kid, so that you're really turning this into an experience where we're not just like gulping down our food. God knows we all do that enough, but you're savoring it. And research shows that savoring is like gratitude on steroids, right? So it's taking gratitude and elongating it and really making a moment kind of stop time so that it elongates. And it's so good for us. So that is a great one. Number 15, apologize for something that you know you were in the wrong. right? Forgiveness is so important and connections are so important. So if you're hanging on to something and you're just embarrassed, a client of mine came to me recently and said, hey, you haven't responded to my email yet. And I said, you know what? You're right. I'm so sorry, right? So we need to apologize if we know we were in the wrong on something. Number 16, begin to shed shame. Become more open-hearted. So shame is a killer. Shame is a joy killer, right? Shame is when you feel like you are wrong and bad. It's not that you did something wrong. It's that there is something fundamentally wrong with you. And there is nothing wrong with you, my friend. Nothing. Even your flaws, even your imperfections, even me, who is not great on email. There's nothing wrong with me. Could I improve some behaviors? Yeah. But we don't want to feel shame that we are bad. And so it's so important to learn about shame and to become what Brené Brown, who is the leading researcher on shame and vulnerability, she calls it shame resilience. So check out her TED Talk, Listening to Shame. It's so good. Number 17, make a date with a friend that you've been wanting to connect with but haven't found time. I don't care if the date is a month from now or 2 months from now. Make that date. I did this on Saturday night. I hadn't talked to a friend in a long time, maybe like 2 months. And I texted her and I said, I know it's been forever, but can we please get together? And she was like, of course, yes. And we both happened to have Saturday night free. And so we went out, me and Josh and her and her husband, and it was so great. So just make that phone call, even if you're embarrassed, make the call, make that connection, because we know that relationships are the top key to happiness. Number 18, give your brain food that it loves. So your brain loves omega-3 fatty acids, things that are found like in walnuts and salmon and in avocado. Give your brain food that it craves. You will feel so good. Number 19, write about your childhood dreams and ask yourself what they tell you about who you are. I started working with a new therapist lately, actually, and she said to me something about my childhood. And I said, oh, well, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a cheerleader, a professional cheerleader, because my parents took me to all the Michigan football games. And there's like 111,000 people in every crowd at a University of Michigan football game. Go Blue, those of you out there. And I would watch the cheerleaders all the time. I'm sure I've shared this on the Purpose Girl podcast before. And I was so excited at how these little people on the field could get 111,000 people standing and cheering. And I thought, I want to be a cheerleader when I grow up. However, I cannot do the splits or a cartwheel. I still cannot. If any of you want to try to teach me, I'm down for it. It just hasn't happened yet. And so that dream was gone. Except think about what I do now. What I do now is being a cheerleader with more nuance and in a different way. But it is, I hope you see that what I do is cheerleading you, supporting you to be your best self, to be your happiest self, to live the life that you want to live. And so your childhood dreams may have some information for you, maybe about your purpose, maybe about a dream that's still unfulfilled, maybe just about a hobby. A client of mine was 69 when she came to me, and she said, well, when I was young, I wanted to be a rockette. I can't be a rockette now. Although, listen to me, rockettes out there, like maybe you should bring on the hot 69-year-old. But either way, okay, so let's say she can't exactly be a rockette. She did start taking dance lessons and felt so sexy and so fun. So you absolutely can do that. Number 20, get some wisdom from a child you love. We all know that out of the mouth of babes, they know what they're talking about. They've got great wisdom. So let them teach you. Number 21, brag. I'm so big into the bragging. Let yourself brag about something you're proud of, right? Choose someone to brag to who you know will respond with joy and excitement. And if you don't have anyone like that in your life, then email me, okay? I might not be the best at email. It might take me a couple days to get back to you, but email me, share your brag with me. In fact, even if you have other people to do that, I want you to go onto my Instagram, Karen Rockhind, or onto Coach Karen Rockhind on Facebook. I want you to email me, Karen at KarenRockhind.com. All of this is in the show notes. I want you to brag to me. Tell me what makes you a great mom. Tell me, you can brag about your kids that they're awesome, but then I'm going to want to hear, what is it about you? Tell me why you're good at your job. Tell me that you're a great singer. Brag to me that you took a stand for yourself and you took an hour for you to go to the mall today and just look for clothes for you. Brag to me that you took a bath. Brag to me that you went to the gym. I want to hear your brags. And frankly, I want to hear them every freaking day. And I will love all over you. 22, write a list of 10 things you love about yourself. 10 things. Now, if this is hard, and it is for most people, I think especially women, because we've been told, don't brag, it's not polite, wait to speak until you're spoken to. If you don't have 10 things, totally normal. However, you deserve to know more than 10 things that you would love about yourself. So ask friends for help. Say to them, hey, I listened to this podcast and this coach asked me what is best about me. Can you share? It's going to be vulnerable, and I get it. A coaching client of mine had no idea. So I asked her for a few people that she loves, and I went to them and I sent them email and I said, hey, can you tell me what you love about her? And I got these amazing emails about her at work and her in her personal life. It was beautiful. 23, write yourself a letter that you will open 1 year from today. Write about how you hope to feel, write about what you hope to be doing, write about who you hope to become, and what you want to have in your life at that time. And then put it away, mark yourself a little note on your calendar, and a year from now, go find that letter and see what you said. Now, if you're afraid to do this because you're afraid that it won't come true, the things that you say, then let that tell you that that's exactly what you should do, because it's a reminder to you, right? It's a primer. You're telling your brain, this is what I want. So if you say a year from now, I hope to love myself more, I hope to be in a new job, well, that's going to get your brain circuits going to figure out how to make more of that happen. Have an ice cream sundae or something that you love, but instead of gulping it down, savor every yummy bite without guilt, but pure pleasure. Like really feel the chocolate on your tongue, really let yourself hold the cherry in your mouth, like really savor it. Number 25, find a hobby that makes you lose track of time. I don't care if it's painting, if it's reading, ice skating, rock climbing, doesn't matter. Something that puts you into what's called a state of flow. A state of flow is that feeling when you lose track of time, you're in the zone, you're in it, and it's total joy. We know from research that people who allow themselves to get into flow states are happier, are healthier, have more optimism, have better resilience toward challenges. So make sure you have something that puts you into that flow. Pausing our top 50 for a brief moment. I have to tell you that with the weather and New Year, I have been wanting to stay healthy. And the best way I know how is to make sure that I get the nutrients that I need. That's where Ritual vitamins come in. I began taking Ritual when they reached out to me to try it for the podcast, but I quickly became a paying customer because I love these vitamins so much. I had started changing my nutrition and supplements during my fertility struggle because a fertility specialist pointed out how most women don't get the essential nutrients that they need. Even in their multivitamins, she told me, because so many of them have additives and harmful ingredients. Ritual has all of the essential ingredients that every woman needs, from D3 to omega-3 and folate instead of folic acid, since most women can't process the folic acid that's in most vitamins. Plus, Ritual seriously tastes great. The regular ones are minty, the prenatal ones are lemon, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, you can see through them, they taste great. And it's only $1 a day to get Ritual delivered to your door. Better health does not happen overnight. I have been living proof of this. But it will happen when you start making healthy habits. So start your year with Ritual Essential for Women vitamin. It's a small step that helps create a healthy foundation for 2019 and beyond. To get them, visit ritual.com/PurposeGirl to start your ritual today. Again, that is ritual.com/PurposeGirl. Back to our list. Learn more about why happiness matters. Learn more about the science of human flourishing. You can listen to past episodes of mine. You can go on to my newsletter and sign up for that. It's free on purposegirl.com. You can listen to TED Talks like Sean Acor's TED Talk, The Happy Secret to Better Work. Learn more. The more you know, the better you do. That's how we all operate. Number 27, make a list of your top values like courage or integrity or family. And then look at your life and honestly assess if you're living true to them, right? I was working with one coaching client we had done a values exercise together, and she realized that her top values were family, were friendship, faith, and she had achievement as a value, a top value, but it was like number 10. However, she was constantly giving up time in her faith community, time with her husband in order to stay at the office because she thought she had to. So no wonder she felt so out of balance. She was not living according to her values. So make a list of your top values. And if you are not living true to them, consider just one thing that you could do to make yourself more in alignment this week. 28. Have an impromptu dance party in your kitchen. I cannot emphasize this enough. We have tons of impromptu dance parties in our kitchen. My dog is my usual dance partner. It is so much fun. Even if you don't feel like dancing, that's the moment that you want to turn on, whether it's Katy Perry or Alicia Keys or Beyonce or somebody, and get down. 29. Listen to an inspiring podcast like this one, so thank you. Or there are so many out there. One I love is from two of my students, Rick and Teresa Starr. It's called Positivity Life. There are so many great ones out there. Number 30, know your strengths. I mentioned this earlier. So psychologists typically diagnose what's wrong with you, right? That you have depression or anxiety, and it is super important to have that diagnosis in order to understand what to do with it. But the leaders in my field, positive psychology, realized that there wasn't something to diagnose wellness, right? And just because even if you have depression, you still have strengths, there are still wonderful things about you. So they took a 3-year sabbatical, a professor from the University of Michigan and a professor at University of Pennsylvania. Over 3 years, they created something called the Values in Action VIA Survey of Character Strengths. And you, again, if you go to purposegirl.com, you can download the sheet and there's a click link right on it. Or if you're just writing these down as we go, it's AuthenticHappiness.com. And you can take your free survey of character strengths and it will tell you what is best about you. And it's delicious and yummy. 31, book a retreat to relax and rejuvenate. Whether it is going into the woods for a couple of days by yourself, it is joining me on a Purpose Girl retreat. I'm going to be doing Paris this year. Woohoo! In 2019. I am going to be doing a mother-daughter retreat coming up in May 2019. All of this is coming soon. Or you want to do a retreat with a yoga instructor. Whatever it is for you, book a retreat to relax and rejuvenate. It's so important. I not only hold retreats, I go on other people's retreats so that I can receive the benefit of being in community with like-minded people and receiving guidance, receiving support, receiving nourishing, nurturing, yummy, healthy food, receiving all that love. We have to fill up. And if you want to know about my upcoming retreats, go to purposegirl.com and click on retreats, and you will see upcoming retreats there. Number 32, read one of my favorite books. It's by Anna Quindlen. It's called A Short Guide to a Happy Life, and we have a link in the show notes, so check that out. 33, compliment someone. Find one person today and just randomly go up to them and tell them that you love their shirt or that their haircut looks great, or someone at work, wow, you did such a great job on that report. Compliment someone. It matters. And if you can make a habit of doing it every day, I try to make a habit of complimenting a stranger every day, and you should see the smile on a stranger's face, especially women, when I tell them that I think that they're beautiful, when I tell them that I love their nose, when I tell them that I think that their dress is beautiful, because you know that inside of their minds, they're probably being super critical. So be the one who spreads some light. 34, compliment yourself. This goes back to the looking in the mirror, right? How often do you or the women that you know, and unfortunately the girls that are growing up today, look in the mirror and find fault, right? The boys are looking in the mirror and finding fault too. Finding fault that they're fat or that they're ugly or that they have too much acne. And so be the woman or the man, if you're listening to this, who compliments yourself, who's able to look and find the thing about you. You know, I do have really beautiful hair. Wow, I really am strong and muscular. Wow, I really am healthy. Like, you don't have to lie, but find the things that are worthy of complimenting, your strengths, what's great about you, your strengths of character, your kindness, and compliment yourself. 35, ask yourself, what or who inspires me? Write that down. Who inspires me? Whether it is someone like Oprah or Nelson Mandela, or it is your mom. And then if that person is still living, then send them an email and tell them, or ask if you can talk for 15 minutes to learn more about how they got where they are or how they became who they became. It is such an honor for someone to receive a message like that. And even if you don't hear back from somebody like Oprah, it feels so good to say, you inspire me. So do that. Make your list and then reach out if that person is still alive. 36, wear an outfit that makes you feel great. Why are we holding on to clothes when they don't fit anymore? Okay. So find an outfit that makes you feel sexy. I have been in a room with 2,500 women of every different color, every different ethnicity, every different body shape, every different, you name it, transgender, cisgender, I mean, you name it. And every woman in that room was beautiful. And I've been in that room where all those women of all different shapes, sizes, colors, you name it, were wearing lingerie. And I'm telling you, these women were beautiful. So find an outfit that makes you feel sexy and gorgeous and look in the mirror and start complimenting yourself in that sexiness and you will feel great. 37, give yourself a break. Okay. We can't get everything done in a day. I always say that you will never get everything done in a day and you will always get everything done. Right? So it's like the to-do list never stops. So if you think, oh, I'll just take a walk in the woods or I'll just go take care of myself once I get everything done, you're never going to get everything done. The list grows. So instead of that, give yourself a break. If you don't get everything done, be kind to yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. And know everything always gets done. The field trip notes always get signed. The laundry always gets done. The people in your household are fed. It's okay. So be kind, be compassionate yourself, just like you would with a child. And the same goes if you made a mistake. And this is one that I am doing right with you. I'm learning with you and practicing every day because it's so freaking hard. And it's so important. But you have my permission to be human. And I hope I have your permission to be human as well. 38, make a vision board of your dreams. Allow yourself to dream. I was in a webinar recently where the person said, dreaming is free. I was like, holy cow, that's brilliant. Dreaming is free. So allow yourself to dream big without all that negative self-talk that says, oh, who are you to think about Oprah returning your email? Who cares? Dream it because you can. You really, really can. And why not? Have a vision board of your dreams. It's the best way to make sure that you are on track and you are working toward fulfilling your heart and soul desires. 39, make a list of 10 things or people that you are grateful for. 40, go hug a tree. Yes, I said a tree. Back to what I said to you about nature. Hugging a tree. The truth is that humans and trees exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen. We have a natural reciprocal relationship with trees. And quite frankly, we honestly are often horrible to trees, even if we don't mean to be, right? Our use of paper, our overuse of paper, how many trees are cut down for our furniture. So find a tree you love and go up to it and give it a hug and say, thank you. Thank you for all that you do for me to keep breathing. Thank you for providing beauty in my neighborhood. Thank you. You'll feel so good. 41, ask for help and be proud that you asked. So often, I know I try to do everything myself, and then I feel so burnt out and so overwhelmed. And I think, why didn't I ask for help on that? And maybe I thought nobody could do it as good as I could. Or maybe I thought, oh, it's just going to take me just as long to explain it to somebody. Or maybe I just was not wanting to be a burden on someone else. And certainly I've had the thought before, I should be able to do it all on my own. But you know what? The best way to receive, the best way to live the life that we want is to receive some help. People want to help. So ask for the help and be proud that you asked. And there is an amazing TED Talk by Amanda Palmer called The Art of Asking. And I think I recently saw that she has a book too, and she's so great. 42. If you have a big goal that's on your vision board, whether it is Oprah or it is, becoming a rower or it is rock climbing, whatever it is, getting to Italy in a couple of years, break down the goal into the teeniest, tiniest step and do the teeniest, tiniest step. So if it's going to Italy in 2 years, then put $1 away in a new bank account today and then do it again tomorrow. Tiny, teeny, tiny, but in 2 years, you'll have more than $700. So it is possible. You want to just break it down into the teeniest, tiniest step. And then once you do the teeniest, tiniest step, celebrate that you took it. Your brain loves celebration because the way your brain works is that it's always looking to avoid something that will hurt you or approach what's good for you. And so celebrating tells yourself, do more of that. 43, go get 8 hugs today. according to researcher Paul Zak, he calls himself Dr. Love, we need it. And that's because hugs give us oxytocin, which is the same yummy, good, feel-good hormone that mothers secrete in their breast milk. And so we get more oxytocin when we get more hugs. So go get your 8 hugs today. 44. Give yourself a hug too. I am telling you that this has changed my life. Now, it might sound weird. You might not want to do it on the New York, city subway, but it feels so good. I'm going to do it right now. Just to gently wrap my hands around my shoulders and start gently, softly caressing my shoulder and being super nice to myself. Your body was raised with gentle touch and love. That's how we grew up as babies. So your body is wired to respond to the hug. So give yourself a hug too. 45. Call a family member and say, I love you, and tell them why. And if you don't have a birth family member that you feel that way about, then feel into your soul family, a friend that feels like family, someone, and just say, I love you, and here's why. And it makes a huge difference. 46. Get a coloring book, and are you ready for this? Draw outside the lines, right? How often are we trying, we've been taught to just stay inside the lines, don't, right? So it's like the whole thing of being inside the box, and then we make ourselves small. So a great way to practice going out of the box, a great way to practice putting yourself out there, fully expressing, is to take a coloring book and draw outside the lines. I had a client do this, and it totally changed her life because she has been such a perfectionist, always trying to just be an A student. And she wanted to make big change. And this was like totally out of comfort zone for her, and then became fun. 47, wear red lipstick. Okay. Wear red lipstick or blue eyeshadow or something that you never do, but you kind of look at other women and you're like, oh, I would never do that, but I wish I could. So wear it, wear the red lipstick and go out and just breathe into knowing you did it, or the blue eyeshadow or something that would be crazy for you. 48, watch a funny movie or video. There are so many hilarious videos out there. So personal favorite of mine, Randy Rainbow, but depends on your politics, but I freaking crack up with him. Or there are great videos about different animals out there, or a funny movie, right? Just find something that makes you crack up. I don't care how silly it is, and let yourself have that for a few minutes. It's a total game changer in your brain makeup and in your body. 49, let yourself take a nap and acknowledge the value of feeling well rested, right? It's like, sometimes don't you ever just feel like I just need a 20-minute nap? Then let yourself have it. This is something I've been practicing as well. When I just get bone tired, letting myself do it, even though my guilt brain says, no, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So we'll do it together. Let yourself have the rest. Sleep is the most important thing for vitality. And so if you need 20 minutes, research actually shows that after that 20 minutes, your brain will be better functioning. So give yourself the rest you need. And number 50, we made it to 50, is to commit to your happiness. Commit to you flourishing, right? I'm on this big kick right now where happiness is not just happy-dappy. When I talk about happy, I'm not talking about just a smile on your face. I'm talking about living fully. I'm talking about really expressing yourself. I'm talking about you living a life that is fulfilled in your heart and soul. And it's going to be messy sometimes. And it's going to be hard sometimes. And you're going to have feelings like anger and grief and sadness. And that's why I love giving you tools for that too. But that's how we flourish in life. That's how we fully blossom. That's how we become our best selves. And I want you to commit to it. That's number 50. And of course, to help you commit to it, you can get this download totally for free. Go to PurposeGirl.com, click on the button, and you can get this for free. You also can sign up, of course, for my newsletter. You'll get free tips every single week. Of course, join our Purpose Girls Facebook group because we are posting a couple of times a week, different quotes, different inquiries, different questions for you to think about and become your most flourishing, thriving self. Of course, follow me on Instagram, Karen Rockhind, or Facebook, Coach Karen Rockhind. And go to the Happy Woman shop. There are tons of products there that we have designed specifically for you to commit to happiness. There is a Happiness Habits e-course that you can take, a self-love workbook e-course that you can take, simple downloads for you. There are mugs to remind you that you are beautiful, that your dreams are sacred, shirts that you choose happy. And of course, our signature I Choose Love necklace. That is a daily reminder that happiness is a choice. Because the truth is that we know from the research that it is in your own command. Because you choose what you do for work, who you're friends with, what your home looks like, whether you exercise. You choose even what you think. And I know that one is hard. And it's hard for me too, and I work on it. All of us can have that growth mindset that leaps us forward. That's what all these tools are for. So go to happywomanshop.com, go to purposegirl.com. I love serving you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening to this 50th episode, our episode anniversary, having cake and champagne together. I love it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this with friends. Please share this episode, share the Purpose Girl podcast with all of the women in your life, with the men too, right? But share it with your girlfriends, share it with the women at work, share it with your moms, your daughters. This is how we are going to create a thriving world. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. That is also how more women find it. The more subscribers, the more women find it. And then it comes to you every single week when we launch a new one. Please rate it and review it at Apple Podcasts. That is the best place. It means so much to us, and more people find it when you rate it. And I have this new fun voicemail feature. So I'd love for you to tell me what you love about the podcast or what topics you want me to cover in future episodes. Go to purposegirl.com/voicemail. And I have amazing episodes coming up. So coming up, I have an expert in women's sexuality, and she is going to blow you away with the 3 things that most women do not know, but should. She's incredible. I also have coming up an incredible lawyer turned women's communication expert who has written a book all about what you need to know about negotiating for compensation and about breaking through the bias, like the women's like how women specifically can communicate and succeed. So she is incredible. You're going to want to stay tuned for future episodes from both of them. As always, I thank you so much for listening. I thank you for being part of our community. If I can help you with anything, please let me know. I love to serve you on my retreats. I love to serve you as a coaching client. I have space for 2 clients right now. And if you've been curious, email me and we'll hop on the phone and we'll see if we're a good match. Now is your time. This is your year to be your most purposeful, most fulfilled, most flourishing self. And you deserve it. So thank you for helping us change the world one woman at a time. As always, may you live purposefully, may you love yourself, and may you love life. Bye for now.